Hey everyone, at this point, a second stimulus payment for the American people is all but a done deal. So my job has now become figuring out how much it's going to be and what the parameters are in order to receive that payment. And I can tell you that the White House and the Congress are not making my job very easy. Welcome back. This is your stimulus update for Saturday, July 11th. So the reason they're not making my job easy is because they're all over the place at this point. We're getting too many people saying too many different things. I can tell you with almost beyond a shadow of a doubt that you will be seeing another stimulus payment under a certain threshold. The only thing that needs to be ironed out at this point is what that threshold is going to be and how much is the next stimulus payment going to be. But when we have interviews like what I'm going to show you right now with Larry Kudlow, who is supposed to be a top economic advisor to Donald Trump, and in the end, a guy who's supposed to know what's going on. And when I show you what he says and then I tell you the truth of what's going on, you will see why it's becoming very difficult to give you guys the most accurate information. So the best thing I can do for you right now is go ahead and just go right to the interview for you.
Are you expecting the stimulus checks in the next bill to be a lot smaller and for a smaller portion of Americans?
Well, I don't want to, again, I don't like what ifs and I want to negotiate. I will repeat what the president has said and what Secretary Mnuchin has said. That kind of economic assistance will probably be very carefully targeted.
So yes.
I guess that's a yes. I just don't want to be specific about it, but we're going to...
I think it'll be $1,200 for people making...
Yeah, I don't want to go to numbers, but I just say this time around, you want to target the lowest end, the people who have the most difficulty, the people that don't have a job to go back to. Those are the ones you really want to focus on. It's not going to be across the board.
Is it because of concerns that the bill is going to be too expensive?
No, I think it's just good policy. I think it's very good policy, and I think...
Oh, Larry Kudlow, what are you talking about? So we see here the interviewer asking Larry Kudlow about the next round of stimulus payments, which are going to happen. And she's saying, well, are they going to be a little bit more limited? Is it going to be a lower income threshold for it? And what Larry Kudlow says is, I want to repeat what Steven Mnuchin, who is the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury, and Donald Trump, who is the President of the United States, have said about this already. And then he said that they both said that the next round needs to be more carefully targeted. The problem is none of them ever said such a thing. If anything, President Donald Trump has said that the next round of stimulus payments need to be bigger, larger, more grand than what the Democrats are saying, or at least the aid to the American people needs to be. Maybe he didn't specifically say the checks themselves. U.S. Secretary of the Treasury Steven Mnuchin never said that they need to be more targeted.
The president has said that he supports another round of stimulus. Leader McConnell has said there should be a $40,000 income threshold. Is that a level that the administration supports?
Well, I'm not going to go into the specific details today on that, but what I would say is we do support another round of economic impact payments. In most cases, those are not checks, it's direct deposits, and we can get that into hardworking Americans' bank accounts very, very quickly. The level and the criteria we'll be discussing with the Senate. I had a very productive call with Mitch McConnell yesterday.
The more targeted number came from that $40,000 figure that Mitch McConnell said. So here's my problem. We have this top economic advisor, Larry Kudlow, who I should be able to get really good information from. Some clarity to offer to you guys. Hey, listen, this is what the amount's going to be. This is who's going to get it. This is what the threshold's going to be. But he doesn't even know what President Donald Trump and Steven Mnuchin's point of view on this even is. Does he even talk to them? Is he watching their press conferences? Why do we know here on this channel that Steven Mnuchin and President Donald Trump never said such a thing? But on an interview, he's saying, I want to repeat what they have said, even though they've never said it, which makes my job much more difficult because I know you guys want to know, am I going to get it? Is Social Security going to be involved in this? SSI, veterans, what about survivors? What about if I make over $40,000? And so when I look at all these different interviews, I look at what the Congress is saying, the senators, the White House, the president, the economic advisors, the U.S. Secretary of the Treasury, and I put all of this together, it becomes hard. I don't think Larry Kudlow knows knows what he's talking about. If you want to know my opinion, I believe that Larry Kudlow's ideas are getting thrown aside. I think Larry Kudlow looks a little defeated to me. I don't know this for sure, but I believe he's probably throwing out things like, we don't need another stimulus payment to the American people. That is a waste of money. We need to incentivize only one thing and one thing only, and that is getting people back to work. However, that idea has been dismissed. Overwhelmingly, everyone agrees you need more economic impact payments to the American people. You need more money to unemployment. You need more help for small businesses, in addition to encouraging people to go back to work in a safe way. If anything, there are leaks coming out that are saying that it's not going to be more targeted, that in fact it's going to be very similar to the last payment because it's all set up. It's ready to go. They could do that very quickly. It's also going to align more with what the Democrats want to do. Remember, what did President Donald Trump say? He said, we want this to happen quick, fast. We want to get money into the hands of the people. If you want this to be fast and quick and get money into the hands of the people in a simple and easy way and the most people possible, you don't change up the parameters. What is the truth? Let me go ahead and put up my chart for you guys. The truth is that the unemployment boost is probably going to continue. I have it at 99% right now. That's a little bullish, meaning it's probably less than 99%. But the fact of the matter is I know in the back of my mind that they have to continue the unemployment boost. They cannot, with still like 11.1 million people or so are still out of their jobs because of this pandemic, you cannot eliminate the unemployment boost. It would be an economic disaster. It'd be a social disaster. It'd be a political disaster. That's why I have it at 99%. Not because it's really 99%, but because I know in the back of my mind, they cannot stop it. They must continue it. And that's one thing that Larry Kudlow did have right. He actually said that they're going to continue the unemployment reforms, which means that it's not going to be $600. It's going to be closer to something like $400 or something like that. But they're going to continue them. And then there's going to be some sort of a back to work bonus or something that he said. So basically what they're probably going to do is if you're on unemployment and you go back to work, they're going to let you get your pay from your job and collect unemployment for a couple of weeks. That's probably what they're going to do. To me, it basically feels like they're just trying to say, okay, go back to work here. Yeah, take a couple of extra unemployment payments and then you'll be good to go. But other than that, repeating what Stephen Mnuchin and Donald Trump said, he is completely off on that. That's my unemployment boost. But what about the $1,200? I think it's going to look almost identical to the last one. I think the threshold is going to be $75,000 for single filers, and I think it's going to be $150,000 for those who are filing joint, married, and obviously it was something around $100 and something thousand if you were head of household, and then everything was phased off. Social Security is going to be included, disability is going to be included, veterans is going to be included, SSI is going to be included, survivors are going to be included, everyone's going to be included. It's going to be almost the same exact deal. The only question right now is, are they going to include the dependents? If they are going to include the dependents, they better get to work on that quickly right now, because last time they left off the adult dependents. If they're going to include them this time, that's going to be the one major problem in this next bill. That's going to be the major holdup because they never solved that issue yet, because they didn't have to send out payments to adult dependents. That's going to be the one caveat. I think other than that, it's going to be completely identical. Children, are they going to keep that at $500 or are they going to have that at $1,200? I think they'll probably lower it to the $500 rather than the $1,200 that's in the HEROES Act. This is my opinion. These are my thoughts. I'm going to keep you guys up to date. I'm going to continue to deliver you the most accurate, truthful information I can. I believe that you are going to get another economic impact payment. If you received one the last time, if you didn't receive one the last time and you should have, you need to be calling up the IRS. I do have a video about how to contact them. I'll try to leave a link to that below, but I believe it's going to happen. I think they're going to get this thing signed and done either by August 1st or August 7th, and that means I think you're going to get a check deposited into your account on probably the 2nd, 3rd, or 4th week of August. And I've been saying this now for nearly a month. And so now all of this is starting to agree with those who know what they're talking about in the White House and in the Congress, which aren't many people, but there's a few of them. I figured I'd give this to you guys today. Hope that at least you were entertained and informed about what is going on now. I will continue to keep you guys up to date. If you enjoyed this, consider subscribing to the channel if you have not already. I would love to have you come along with us. As always, I will catch you next time.